Hello, my name is Peter Vale,
And my name is Jaime Garza.
and welcome to Urban Canvas, Pilsen's Economic Renaissance. And today's show is going to be about, I think, everybody's favorite, food.
Yeah, so we know that Chicago has been a hub for immigrant families from all over the world.
Correct.
And with that, you know, people moving around from country to country, they bring their culture, their music, their customs, their language, and especially their food.
Especially their food. And as we know, Chicago is the hub for any kind of food that you could think of from anywhere around the world. For example, we have right near to Pilsen, we have Chinatown.
Oh yeah, Chinatown is packed with restaurants selling all kinds of Chinese food, but also they have a lot of shops where they sell products or foods from their native country. And so, you know, any neighborhood that you could drive around through has a feel and has, you know, they kind of they shine because of their food. You know, you drive into any neighborhood and you could tell like what kind of food they sell in that neighborhood.
Well, sure. We have Greek Town, which is close to the Loop. We have Humboldt Park, which boasts a lot of Puerto Rican cuisine. We have Little Italy.
Oh yeah, Little Italy, and I think we have two Little Italys. One is on Taylor and one is on Oakley.
And one is on Oakley.
And so near to Pilsen, a lot of Italians used to live in Pilsen. So, and there's a few that still do, but Italian cuisine is a great example of the world culture that Chicago has.
Right. I mean, even so far as like Middle Eastern food out in the Western and Peterson area, we have Ukrainian food in Ukrainian Village near Wicker Park. So Chicago really boasts a vast variety of your pick of any kind of cuisine that you would like to enjoy.
Yeah, you could go, you know, drive out a little more south to La Villita, to 26th Street, and you'll find tons of restaurants selling all kinds of mole, tamales, tacos, quesadillas, from different regions of Mexico. So it's, you know, we always tell people to go explore, go get culturized, right? And have some food and listen to some music and have fun.
Absolutely. So speaking of food, right here in Pilsen, ESDC actually has an event which is called Buen Provecho. It is a restaurant tour for people who come to Pilsen and want to participate. And how long has this been going on, Jaime?
The festival has been, the restaurant tour has been going on for 15 years, actually. This is the 16th annual Buen Provecho. It's organized by ESDC to kind of showcase the culinary culture of the neighborhood. We've had, you know, a lot of like new restaurants pop up, a few of them close down, but there's always something, you know, delicious and like very intimate for every family and every chef of the restaurant to kind of showcase who they are, where they come from, and the ingredients they use.
Well, I would imagine about 15, 16 years ago, there was still a lot of restaurants, of course, on the 18th Street corridor, and as well as all spread out throughout Pilsen. How many restaurants would you say participated in the very first?
The very first, maybe about 10 to 12 restaurants participated, and since then, it has been growing. The pandemic kind of slowed things down, but we're up and running again. This year, we'll probably have about over 20 restaurants participate.
So it's grown substantially over the years.
And we always, try to feature and kind of direct people to the newer restaurants.
Of course.
Just because these newer restaurants need that push to kind of become a part of the neighborhood and to get that exposure.
Now, have there been any restaurants in the Pilsen community that have been around that are probably more of a notable or kind of a famous restaurant that you would remember or recall?
I guess I would have two. One being Ivolina's Tamales, which has been a staple in Pilsen since Marcelina started the restaurant. But another notable restaurant in Pilsen is Ruby's Tacos, which is known kind of all over the U.S. and all over the world because of the clips they have in Taco Chronicles up on Netflix. So the Taco Chronicles talks about it's a documentary about tacos in Chicago, and they featured only 4 restaurants, and one of them was Ruby's Tacos, which is on 18th Street on the corridor, and I could attest to that.
I think we can attest to that.
That
for sure.
it is one of the best taquerias, not only in Pilsen, but I think in Chicago.
Yeah, and I think it's evidenced by the fact that they were notably recognized by the Taco Chronicles, but also, you know, they kind of boast their fame right outside their door with the sandwich board. Lets you know what shows they've been on, who has been through those doors. And I've actually been in communication with the owners who actually, now their hours don't usually extend into the hours of which we're going to have Buen Provecho. However, the owners did agree to stay open just so that people can get a sample of their cooking.
Yeah, so our Buen Provecho event, it's a restaurant tour. You pick up your ticket and you go restaurant through restaurant. We print out a map for every, so that people know what restaurants are participating. And you go walking or in your car to the different restaurants and get a sample. Usually, the restaurant is gonna offer the top item that people love about that restaurant. Sometimes it could be a quesadilla, sometimes it could be a slice of pizza, sometimes it'll be a shot of espresso.
Shot of espresso, because we do have a really good coffee houses spread out throughout Pilsen. There's many participants that are basically known for their coffee or their coffee caffeinated drinks.
Oh yeah. So a few of the restaurants, coffee shops, bars that sell food that I want to know. I mean, one that I love and it's really near our office is La Malinche Coffee and Tea House.
And Tea House, and their teas, I can attest, are amazing. They're very fresh, fruit flavored, and delicious. But their coffee is also very good and very strong, which I like my coffee strong. We also have, what else do we have?
Well, we have a few bars. I guess Simone's has been our supporter and also has participated in Buen Provecho and Mole de Mayo. So we don't know what they're going to be serving yet, but sometimes when people 21 and over come by, sometimes you get a drink.
Oh, drink would be nice. We also have a Cup of Joe, which has recently opened in Pilsen, and they'll be also participating. Yes,
Cup of Joe. They also have another location down south on Archer, and it's a great coffee house. It's the company is a family-based company. And they've been doing great, and they opened up last year in Pilsen, and they've been doing so good. So we're super happy to have them in Buen Provecho, the Taste of Pilsen.
I think I also heard that they have a habanero coffee. I don't know. I'd be interested in knowing what that tastes like. I like spicy stuff myself, so habanero coffee is not out of the question for me. Being a coffee lover, but I am willing to try new things. But that's the entire purpose of Buen Provecho, is to kind of invite people from not only just in Pilsen to show appreciation to our neighbors for their support of ESDC and letting them taste the fine foods that are around in their very own neighborhood. But we also do encourage people to come from out of town or even out of the neighborhood to come in and see what Pilsen's all about, especially when it comes to the food.
Yeah, it's a great way to get to know the neighborhood, get to know the restaurants in like one trip to the neighborhood. And also, Pilsen is beautiful. It's filled with murals and a very artistic community all around. And we could see that some of that art is also shared in some of the restaurants. Some of the restaurants feature some original art from local painters, local artists.
Yes.
So there's always something very special in these type of events. And a lot of the restaurants, they're very mom and pop shops. There is no chains that kind of have a place on 18th Street. There's a lot of restaurants that are very unique, and their cooking is very kind of homemade taste, and some are even tortillas hechas a mano,
Sure.
handmade tortillas. Some have their own kind of take on dishes that are very traditional to whatever the city they're from. But now with the arriving to Chicago and having the ingredients that Chicago has fresh, they add those to their menu items. Sometimes for drinks, sometimes for the actual food. But yeah, so every one of these restaurants has a unique take to what they're offering, right? We also have a very interesting one that opened up, I believe earlier this year, Casa Mateo. Casa Mateo is a Colombian steakhouse.
Ah.
And they're over on Western and 25th. And they've been participating in Mole de Mayo also, but their big thing is like turkey legs.
Oh.
So
Dark meat.
yeah, so dipped in Colombian kind of sauces,
Of course.
and rice and all these like delicious things. And they also serve drinks, so it'll be a very good thing to kind of start off there and then make your way.
Kind of going
Make your
off the
way up.
beaten path and then coming and easing your way into Pilsen. And another thing that I know that you, just to piggyback off what you were saying about the mom and pop shops, is the fact that I think one of the things that makes Pilsen so unique is that these mom and pop shops are not just your standard little shops, but they're shops with personality, and they're shops with history, and they're shops with culture that you know just by attending or going in and buying, you know you're participating in supporting that culture, and also supporting these small business owners that actually put not only their sweat and tears and joy into these restaurants, but also pump their items full of personality.
Yes, we and also the Taste of Pilsen, Buen Provecho is not only kind of salty foods. There's also sweets. So there's some ice cream, very interesting ice cream shops that have been creating kind of new flavors for Pilsen. I could say Nevería Sabor de México and Sabor de Michoacán are doing that exactly. They're doing new flavors and delicious ice cream, sweets. There's also panaderias. There's still a few panaderias. They make the bread in-house. So all that bread that comes out is freshly made that morning. So you could just go pick up a bolillo and make yourself a warm torta with the bolillos that just came out of the oven.
And I walk into these panaderias and I smell that bread, and it's like a blanket from abuela. It just comes and it wraps around you, and it just makes you feel warm and good inside. And it's just so comforting to just walk in and smell the bread in the bakery, and then you feel like a little kid, because you every single turn that you make inside a panaderia, you're going to notice a treat, a sweet, something maybe you've never had before or you've been interested, or definitely some that just sounds or smells or looks good.
Yes, and they invest their time and their talent into creating new products, new flavors. And yes, I stop by once in a while, get my handmade tortillas and my bolillos once in a while. What else we got? We have a few newer restaurants, right?
We do. I know that one of the newer restaurants, which is located over on Ashland Avenue near 18th, is Truffle Chicago. I've been in there a few times. They have an ever-changing menu. Sometimes they have fish. Sometimes they have just different kinds of culinary treats for you. And they just opened, I want to say, within the last few months. But the times that I've been, they've had good clientele in there. And we're excited to see what they can provide for us.
Yeah, new restaurants. I guess Pilsen is a great place to open up a restaurant. People that come into Pilsen know that the culinary art is of a high caliber, and because of the restaurants that have been there for many years, and we have some participating restaurants that have been there for 40 years, 30 to 40 years. And I'll name it, La Casa del Pueblo Taqueria has been in the neighborhood for over 30 years.
Yes.
And because of these like established mom and pop shops, you know, the standards are high.
Yeah, you got to come correct if you want to own a restaurant in Pilsen.
When it comes to culinary. So a lot of younger chefs, younger cooks, they eye Pilsen and they're like, you know, I would love to open up at this high caliber restaurant neighborhood, and yeah, I'm so happy. You know, Truffle Chicago is doing great. They're over on Ashland and 18.
Well, and I talked to the owner, and the owner told me that even though he has had another location in another spot, I think it might have been a food truck, but he had been eyeing Pilsen just because all of his friends are in Pilsen. He likes to frequent the night spots in Pilsen, which we know are just as high of caliber as the restaurants here in Pilsen. But that he did have a need to come to Pilsen because he knows that this is where it's at. If you want to be having a successful restaurant, this is where the competition is at, but also this is where you'll get noticed and where a lot of people will frequent your restaurant.
Yeah, there's another amazing restaurant called De Nuez.
Yes.
They have two locations, one over on Berwyn, and the other over here on 18th and Damon, and they serve such good food, and the ambience in there is also very relaxing. It's right across from a school and from Harrison Park,
yep.
Which you know you get a view, you get the vibe, you get fresh air. They have a small patio that they participated years before. And I'm happy they're still, you know, doing their thing, and I think that's one of the important stops
I've
to
eaten
make.
at De Nuez before, and one of the highest compliments I can give to a restaurant is when the food just tastes very fresh and refreshing. And it's hard to make maybe a burger taste refreshing. But I think that's what De Nuez does, is that they make their foods taste refreshing because it's so fresh and delicious. And that's what I enjoy from De Nuez.
Yeah, and how I was saying, like, everyone kind of brings their culture, brings who they are into these dishes. They kind of put themselves into the dishes. And, you know, one of the restaurants that has been in Pilsen for a long time, Pilsen has been known for a Mexican neighborhood for the past 60, 70 years. And this restaurant that came over a few years ago, El Jibarito Stop, which is a Puerto Rican food right on 18th Street, and you know they serve excellent jibaritos.
Well,
you could tell us about that.
I'm a little bit of an expert when it comes to the Jibarito Stop because I do frequent them as often as I can. If you like garlic, be prepared to be absolutely delighted. Their food actually, being Puerto Rican myself, I don't frequent too many Puerto Rican restaurants, usually because I feel I could probably do a better job. However, I will say that Jibarito Stop kind of reminds me of my grandmother's cooking, and that's saying a lot. Definitely heavy on the garlic, the seasonings, the flavors. They have vegan options, which is something that not a lot of Puerto Rican restaurants today offer. I know there are some in Humboldt Park that do offer vegan options, and kudos to them. But here in Pilsen, to have a Puerto Rican restaurant that offers vegan options, that offers, you know, the drinks, the snacks, the entrees, everything that encompasses the Puerto Rican cuisine is comprised and offered at the Jibarito Stop.
Oh yeah, it's a great food, and that's what I was talking about. You know, they bring themselves to their craft, and they're recognized for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's also Mandala Cafe.
And you know, I was just going to bring up Mandala Cafe.
Mandala Cafe has the one of the best coffees in Pilsen. I try to stop there as often as I can, but not too much.
Uh-huh.
I still always love the surprises, the espressos, the cortaditos. Yeah, they're great.
But also being a Venezolano establishment, they also have Venezolano treats from Venezuela and sweets to go along with your coffee. So just it being just a coffee place, no. It also has snacks. It's also a culinary experience because you get to taste the treats and the snacks that are offered in Venezuela to go along with that awesome coffee that they do serve.
Yeah, I'll also mention a few of the restaurants that are participating. Señoritas Cantina, excellent tacos and drinks. Panaderia Iramuco, which has also a lot of sweets and just homemade bakery.
Sure.
We have a Bittersweet Pilsen, which we'll be visiting soon, I guess, for Buen Provecho.
Yes, they actually have 2 locations, and they decided to come to Pilsen. We learned that the owners actually grew up in Pilsen and are from Pilsen, and so we're happy to have them come back home and open a restaurant.
Panaderia Nuevo León, Rice and Noodles. So these are a few of the restaurants that are going to be participating. And I want to kind of go over, what's the experience like, for people that want to come and have the taste of Pilsen, Buen Provecho. What's the experience like for you?
Well, the experience for me is it's like a stroll in the park, right? Or a stroll through the neighborhood where you walk in, you receive your ticket, you receive a small tote bag so you can have things to go because not everybody's going to eat everything at once. But the best part of the experience is going into the restaurants and the owners enthusiastically receiving you and giving you what they believe is representative of what the taste of that restaurant it really is. And you're kind of getting the best out of each restaurant. As opposed to going in and wondering what to eat, you can start right from the taste of Pilsen, the Buen Provecho, and you can come back and experience that specific sample that you had, or you can change gears and go with something else on the menu. But you already know that the restaurant's good because you've been inside, you've met with the owners and the staff, you've tasted the food, and you figured, oh, well, this is somewhere I want to be. So my experience with Buen Provecho has always been a positive one because there's times where even though I might work here in Pilsen and enjoy a lot of the restaurants, maybe one of them might have escaped my eye, and maybe I didn't notice a certain restaurant for whatever reason. But now, because of Buen Provecho, I get to notice that restaurant is there. I get to visit the restaurant. I get to enjoy. I get to meet the owners most of the time. And just participating in a neighborhood event where everybody is going up and down with their tote bags and everybody is kind of enjoying the fall air because fall is upon us now. And it's very positive and a very delicious experience.
Yeah, so one of the things that we try to do is that encourage restaurants and businesses to show why Pilsen is known because of their culinary art. So they put their best dishes out, and I think it's been working out. We've been doing this event for 16 years, and we've featured a lot of new restaurants and older restaurants, and we're going strong with Buen Provecho.
So if you want to participate in our Buen Provecho restaurant tour, Jaime, how can people get a hold of us and find out how to participate?
Best way to do it is to visit our webpage, esdcchicago.org, or visit us on Facebook or Instagram, ESDC Chicago, and you get all the details there, links, and just click and follow the instructions.
So I don't know about everybody else, but I know I'm excited about Buen Provecho coming. I know I'm going to get my tote bag ready. So I hope to see everybody there, and I hope to see many people come. If you are not able to participate and you know somebody that might, please pass along the message that participating in Buen Provecho is not only something that you're going to get something out of, but also you're going to be helping a community.
So September 24th, 5:30 to 8, the event goes on. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll know more details there.
So once again, my name is Peter Vale.
And I'm Jaime Garza.
And we are Urban Canvas, Pilsen's Renaissance, Economic Renaissance.